Good morning, everyone. So this is the first of a few different items we're going to talk about on upgrades today. It's my birthday at the end of this month, and my wife decided to grab this for me. This is an early birthday gift, so this is an Egg Genius. I'm gonna walk you guys through how it works. You'll notice I've opened it, but I haven't actually like done anything with it. Everything's still in the plastic. But I wanted to go ahead and give you a look at what this is. This sucker retails for $250. She definitely didn't pay that. She got it for a lot less. But I thought I'd walk you through and sort of show you the fun features of how this particular item actually works and then when to use it. Stay tuned. So we've got a cook going on today. We're gonna do some beef ribs and we're gonna try this out. So before we get into it, I thought I would walk you guys through what's in the box. And you'll notice I haven't even opened it yet. I'm doing it in front of all of you, so I want to see everything. So this looks like this is the fan. Now, what I need you guys to understand about this system is that this is basically just a fan that has the ability to monitor temperature. That's it. That's really all it is. Okay, so this is the fan attached here. This attaches to the egg. It blows the air through here. There's a computer sitting in here that actually has the ability to connect to an app on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, etc. And you can control the temperature of your egg based on this fan. So the fan, if it needs to increase the temperature, the fan will blow out air. If it needs to lower the temperature, the fan actually stops, and because of the way that it's set up, which I'll show you here in a moment, it actually stops airflow from going in the bottom of the egg. So it's a pretty nifty piece of kit, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. So there is our power, there's our pit probe, and then there's our actually meat probe. So that's that part. Things in the box. Oh yeah. All right, so that's the box. This is a little customer blurb about stop before you do anything, so I'll probably read through this. And it's about if something breaks, how does it work? All right, so we have some cord here. So we have a probe, and then we have an alligator clamp. They're interesting. Their alligator clamp goes right under the grate, as opposed to like another clamp that would sort of sit on top of the grate. Those are the ones that I've used in the past, and they were great. They worked out just fine. So this will be good to try out. Oh, one more thing about these. They're only good for about 400, 425 degrees. Anything past that and egg won't warranty the cords anymore. The interesting thing though is that these plugs here, you have the ability to find some universal ones to hook up to here. They're just a standard plug. I have other plugs in my other barbecue drawer that has more of these that are actually thicker. So if we have to go that route, we will, but if we don't, I'm not gonna worry about it. And then we have the plates. And there's two different plates in here. First plate, this is for the mini and the medium eggs, so that this guy can attach to it. And basically what it does is it sits on your draft door, and then this piece clicks in like so, like this, and then it just kind of hangs there. And that's pretty much it. So we definitely don't need the mini one, but we do need the larger one. Is this guy, and again, it's the exact same thing. Clicks onto your draft door, hold on just like so, and it just halted it just like that. So we're gonna end up putting the mini away. Now the other thing about this system, and what I was concerned about, was this plug. So this is a 5 to 12 amp plug. It's got a little converter built into it, and so this plugs into your 110 volt at your home, runs through, and then these guys connect together like so. The annoying thing about this thing is that you have the ability to buy a battery backup for it. And what I found is that from a little bit of research, you can actually use a cell phone charger, like one of those Anchor chargers, one of those battery backup systems that you can carry around with you in your pocket or in your book bag. And you can connect that to here, but I'm still working on the math for the voltage. I don't want to put something in onto here that's going to blow circuits, because Unfortunately enough, as expensive as these things are, they're not warranted like all the other egg parts. It's electronics. Big Green Egg has a lot of the tech done for it. They just have somebody put them together for them, and then they send them out. So even though this is an egg product, a lot of the parts in here are made in like China and other places. So we don't really want to get into that detail, and I don't really want to break anything. So I'm going to continue to look into seeing how I can build the battery back up. But for today's cook, I'm just going to grab an extension cord, plug it into the wall, plug it into this, and then we're going to see how well this thing actually works. Okay, so here's our draft door, and I have these little marks here, so I can't go in from this side to put it on. So instead, I'm going to have to start over here on this side and put it on. We're going to slide these all the way off, just like so. And this one too, just like so. And then this guy's going to go in here like this. Yeah, it's a decently tight fit. It's not the greatest fit. And then we're going to take our piece here. All right, now we're in there, we're nice and stable. The draft, there probably might be a little bit of a draft, but since the fan here is the main important thing, let's see how that goes. So we're gonna pop it in like so. Okay, we're gonna pop it in like so. And voila, that's pretty much it. It's sitting in there. And I'm gonna push this over just a little bit just to help hold that guy in there, and that's it. That's pretty much our egg. We're gonna see how well this thing does. It seems a little loose to me personally, but if this is how it goes, then this is how it goes. I'm not really gonna complain too much. I'm very excited to see how well this thing actually works, because as a lot of you know that run these pits, air temperature or airflow into temperature is a big problem. It's very, very hard to manage, and so we want to try to get into here as easily as we can. All right, everyone, so today we're going to make some beef ribs. So let's go ahead and start that process. First thing we need are some ribs, and there they are. So I went ahead and I picked these up the other day at Wild Fork, USDA Prime. They were about, I think, $6 or $7 a pound. Ended up getting 2.88 pounds. Anyways, so this is the product. So we're going to go today. You can see the marbling on them. It's pretty good. Right? Just a little 4-bone per each stack here. So let's go ahead and open them up and see what we got. Okay. Looks pretty good. And then we got this guy here. Looks pretty good. Is the membrane here, or is it not? No, it looks like the membrane is not here, which is great. Okay. Yeah, look good, smell good. I don't really like this little flap of ridiculously hard fat here. This is a pretty normal thing that comes on these, so we're gonna just take that off. Right? The rest of this is gonna be okay. Actually, you know what? It's as you can see, it's just a touch too thick, so I'm gonna take just a little bit off. This is really, really hard fat. Normally it's not that big of a deal, but similar to like a brisket, you want to go ahead and break them down. Now, I don't necessarily want to get rid of all the hard fat, because a lot of it is going to be used for this intramuscular. I just want to give it a nice, quick, clean trim. That way it's a little easier for us to kind of get some more smoke in there and get rid of all this oxidized fat. We definitely don't want that. Okay, and the top looks good too. I'm not even really worried about that. Here's the next one here. Good fat cap on there, and you'll notice down here, really all that nice hard fat's pretty much gone. So this is what we're working with today. So let's go ahead and let's pat them dry. Next up, we want to go ahead and make our rub. So I have got a half cup of black pepper here. That, as usual, is freshly ground. Then I have a 1/4 cup of salt. Okay, and then to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. 1 and 2. And then we add our shaker. And we shake it up. Paint can, paint can, paint can. And then there we go. All our stuff is done and ready to go. You'll see we got a good amount of salt in there, which is what we want for something like this. Now remember, it seems like I'm adding a lot of black pepper. I'm not. All this black pepper that we end up adding, most of that pepper flavor ends up going away. And what we need is we need a good bark to go ahead and develop. So that's what all of this is for. So we have our beef ribs. We want to liberally put a lot of this on. Okay. And I like the shakers as opposed to anything else because I can really get a lot out in a well-defined area. You can notice I can really just get this on here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let these sit, and then we're going to go ahead and fire up the egg. You'll notice we're getting all that on there. And if you make too much of this spice, it's really not that big of a deal, because it's going to end up being safe. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to season the back end. I do. I think every little bit matters. Even these ends right here, you want to go ahead and get, which I forgot over here. Don't ever forget the ends. Somebody's going to end up eating those, and hopefully it's going to be you. All right, so for right now, these guys are going to sit here. We're going to go fire up the egg, and then we're going to get them on, and we're going to start to cook. All right, everyone, so there's our pit. We're going to go ahead and get these this charcoal lit right now. And then as soon as it's going, we'll fill it up with some more charcoal. We'll get our dampers open. We'll get our brand new Egg Genius attached to the bottom, and that will be that. All right, everyone, so we have our pit up to temp. So that guy goes in right there. Just pushed all the way in. Hopefully there's a good seal around here. I don't really know yet. I'm gonna plug in these other 2 cords. All right, this one is for the meat, which we haven't done yet. And this one is the alligator clip. We're gonna pop this on, plug it in, and then I'm gonna walk you guys through the actual setup for getting this going. Can you hear that? Funny enough, I haven't done anything yet. I have nothing hooked up yet. Nothing's hooked up at all. And it's going. And if I pull you up here, there's a bunch of smoke. It's just pushing through. It's trying to get that fire lit, man. This was my #1 question about this thing is, how does it actually work? Because nobody really goes through a really big, in-depth breakdown of it. I'm gonna do that because I think it's important. How do I start a pit? How do I get this all going? Can this thing do that for me? I think that it can. I think that we just need to go ahead and get it set up properly. So that's what we're gonna work on today. We're gonna try our hardest to get this guy set up and see what we can actually get done here. Like, just look at that. The Egg Genius is doing that. It's making that flame start. It's making all this foam show up. I think it's great. We need to go ahead and get it set up in the app right now. All right, guys, I gotta be honest, this thing's amazing. We got the pit probe in. We're reading about almost 150 degrees. The fan has just been blaring this entire time. It's at like 76%. I have my backup Wi-Fi system set up here to connect to this, but this thing connects to your home Wi-Fi. So technically, as long as your Wi-Fi is running, you should be able to leave your house. You should be able to go to the grocery store or the car wash, or even go to the beach, and be able to get settings of your egg. This is the thing that I have been wanting to go ahead and get something that I could literally control the temperature with and be able to be gone and be able to do a standard cook. You know, I haven't set up a cook yet. I mean, the probe is still sitting out, but the other probe is in. There it is, right there. It's hooked right up to it. This thing's, I'm pretty happy so far. I'm pretty glad with what we've got, and I'm really looking forward to going through the rest of it. Now I'm going to try to show you the app. I'm going to try to figure out a way to put that on screen so that I can actually walk you through what it is. And maybe I need a different software system to set that up. I don't know, but worst case scenario is I'll drop the information down in the description so that you can see how it is, and then I'll link a video that explains to you how to go ahead and set it up. But I mean, I'm ecstatic on how well this is actually working. It's great. All right, so we're up to temp. The fan is now off. We are at 225. I don't know if the dome gets hotter than the grates. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna look into that, but I'm gonna see. You notice we still got white smoke. So now that she's up to temp and where we want her to be, as soon as our white smoke goes away, I'm gonna go ahead and put our food on and we're gonna let this go, but we are there, we are at temp. It did something weird too, and I don't know if this is normal. I need to see if these fans go in reverse or if they just push air this way, or can they push it this way? Because it started blowing smoke all over the place out here. And it didn't do that consistently. It only did it a few times. And even when the fan was at like 70, 80%, it wasn't blowing it. Even when it was at 40%, it didn't do it. But I'll have to go back and look at the graph and see. Maybe this thing has the ability to also pull, not just push. I'm not sure. I need to look into it. But right now the temp is good. Again, our smoke level's starting to calm down a little bit. We just need to go ahead and get this white away. Probably take about 10, 15 minutes. And then we can get our beef ribs on, which have been sitting for almost an hour. So as soon as I was done with that, I lit this guy up. I set all this up. I kind of walked you guys through everything, and this is what I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see exactly how this is going to work. This cord thing here is fine for today, but as I had said earlier, I'm going to figure out a way to hook it up to my power bank so that I can have a full system here and it doesn't need to be connected to the house, because I really don't like this. So yeah, stay tuned, and as soon as we turn blue, I'm going to get those beef ribs on and we will go ahead and see how they go. All right, everybody, we are at blue smoke. We are at temp. Our fan is not on. Everything is working great. So we're going to go ahead and get the meat and get started right now. All right, everyone, we're ready to go. We're at temp. We've got blue smoke. We've got our beautiful, beautiful beef ribs about to go on. We've got our Egg Genius attached, and I think things are going to go well. So right now I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop it in the thickest part. Okay, there we go. That's attached. Now we're going to burp the egg. All right, there's our probe. Our first one's going on. And our second one's going on. Now I could technically get a second probe and attach it into here. There are splitters that you can buy, but for right now, I just want to check it out. Try to make sure that you are on the inside of the deflector plate, which we are. Our temp's on the inside of the deflector plate. So we're gonna let this go at 225 degrees for at least the first 2-3 hours. So let it get up to temp. Once it hits 165, we are gonna go ahead and pull it. If we've got enough smoke, we're gonna pop it in our smart oven today, and we're gonna let it go and go and go and go and go until it's dinner time. Right now it's 9:30 in the morning, so I'm hoping for like a late dinner, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock tonight after a few hours in the excuse me, in the smart oven, and let's see how this guy goes. All right, everybody, so it has been close to 5 hours. Oh, sorry, 4 hours, and we're hitting about 175. And one of the things that I did, oh, those look really good, was I popped some sausages in there. I got these at the grocery store. They've got sweet potato and some southern spices in them, some Southwest spices in them, so I'm gonna try them out. Oh yeah, we've got some good fat rendering going. Oh, you can see it squirting out right there. So this is good. So 175, I'm gonna take them, we're gonna wrap them in some peach paper. We're gonna get them in my toaster oven at 150, and we're gonna let them go until, for at least, I don't know, for a couple more hours and see how they go. I'd like to let them go overnight, but I wanna eat these for dinner, so this is where we're gonna keep them at for right now. All right, so we have been about 5 hours in. They look, or sorry, about 4 hours in, they look great. They've separated well. We've got lots of smoke. We've even started to go ahead and get some rendering going on here. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna wrap them. So I've got some tallow here from a brisket cook video that I did a while ago. Not a while ago, like a week ago. So I'm gonna put these guys on here. Literally on that tallow. Take a little bit, put it up here. It's kind of cold. I just pulled it out of the fridge. And then get some here. All right. And now we're gonna wrap them. I'm gonna go over like so. Fold it this way. And this way. Some nice edges. I'm gonna roll them over like this. And roll them over like so. Okay, I'm gonna take a piece of tape. I'm gonna pop it right here. We're gonna go ahead and get it in the toaster oven, which means it's gonna go back on our fun rack. And it's gonna sit in there for at least 3 to 4 hours or until the temp comes up. I'm gonna probe this real quick so that I can manage it. All right, so here's our toaster oven, here's our meat, here's our thermometer. We're set at 150 degrees. Pop this guy in, he's nice and warm. We're gonna monitor him with this. And you notice we're looking for 195 degrees. When we get there, I'm gonna go ahead and check the tenderness of it. I still want it to get up to 204. So we'll set it for that instead. We'll get it up to 204 and then we will go ahead and see what it's like. We'll let it cool after that and we'll go ahead and try it out. All right, so let's talk about this. This is the Egg Genius. It's basically a fan. I looked up, it doesn't go in reverse, just to get that out there. It comes with 2 probes. It comes off with a pit probe to monitor the temperature of the pit and then with an actual food temperature probe to go into the food that you're measuring. You really don't want to go over like 425, 450 with this. I actually think manufacturer says 400. And most of the things that you're going to be using it for really, really long cooks. I got to be honest with you, it worked flawlessly. My pit was a little high. It was about 25 degrees over what I wanted. And so I made the flue on top really small. Like maybe, I don't know, like the size of like a nail. Like a small thin penny nail. It wasn't very big at all. Yeah, like 2 millimeters. And what I found that it did was when it got too low, which was very rare, it would just kick the fan on, blow up some heat from the charcoal, get it back up. But it stayed at 225 for hours. Like 3 hours of the cook, it was at like literally within 223 to like 227. It was amazing. I will definitely recommend this thing. 100%. I know that it's got a big price tag on it and that there are probably others that you can look at as well, but it does a really good job. I 1000% recommend it. Now, the price tag of $250 is a lot. You can find used ones on eBay. You can find new ones on eBay. That's what I did. And you know, I got a decent enough discount when I bought it, buying the way that I did, but I can tell you this much, if your goal is to champion your egg, this is my first time using it and it was flawlessly. Periodically, I'll use it and I'll give a little breakdown on how it worked to give you guys a good idea. But yeah, it's fantastic. I completely 100% recommend this and basically say if you are really trying to refine the temperature of your pit, this will definitely do it.
All right, everyone. So let's go a little longer than 2-3 hours. Let it go for 8. It is almost 9 o'clock at night, and so I'm really interested to see how well it did. I ended up having to turn the heat up to 160 so that I could keep the meat around 145. And now we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna let it rest for probably 20 minutes so that it can go ahead and, I mean, it's been resting this entire time. But we're going to give it another 20 minutes. I pretty much want the temp to go down to below 140, and then we'll go ahead and cut it open. All right, everyone. So
I started this journey about 12 hours ago, and now it's time to eat. So this is our beef ribs that we got from Wild Fork. Remember, there were 2 of them. There were, I believe, 3 bones each, and so these are sort of like a section of beef ribs. Okay, so we smoked them for about 3.5, 4 hours. They then went into my toaster oven, kind of like the similar one that Chud's Barbecue runs, and they sat in there for about 5. Actually, no, longer than that. They sat in there for closer to 8 hours. So we have our bones. Let's lift them up. Ooh, yeah, look at that. There's a lot of juice in there. Look at all that. Doesn't that look fantastic? You can see how it's just dripping down right there. All right. Oh, wow. Oh my God, that's so good. That's what you want to see. Anyways, if you like this kind of content, please go ahead, like, share, and potentially subscribe if you feel the need to, at the very least. Go ahead and put a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if you want to see something different. And as always, have a phenomenal barbecue week, and I will look forward to seeing you next weekend when I figure out what's going to be on my pit.